Life is full of work and stress. Parenting can be a mess. Being a woman is hard enough without adding on that extra stuff. We'll cover topics of every kind. Helpful resources we will find. We'll even drink a bottle of wine. Join us. It will be a real good time.
Hi, I'm Amanda,
And I'm Nikki.
and welcome to Working Mom's Wine, where we drink a bottle of wine.
And whine about our crazy, busy, stressful working mom lives.
And today, we're going to whine about sewage.
And boy, isn't an expensive wine.
More
So,
expensive than. No, I'm joking. Um, yes, Nikki has had quite the experience lately, so we're going to whine about plumbing and house crap, literally.
yeah. Where
And of
I
course, this
live,
was another
tree
thing that
roots.
happened right before your
Oh, go
trip.
ahead. It happened so close to the trip, I thought maybe I wouldn't be able to go because I had hired a woman to come
Yeah.
into the home and watch my dog and my mom's two dogs in my house. And I can't leave someone here when you can't flush the toilet or run bath water. So I was getting nervous, but they came in pretty quickly, got the work knocked out, made a giant mess, but I suppose it's part of it. So I'd say maybe not even, maybe like a week before we were supposed to leave ish, started having a problem where I'd go down to do the laundry and there'd be a little bit of what looked like there had been some spit up from the sewer drain right in front of my washing machine. And this happens all the time where I live. The buildings are really old. There's tons of trees, so much so that you have to get like special permission from the city to cut down a tree because they're all about preserving the trees where I live. And so there's tree roots that go through the sewer lines, and everything has to be replaced every once in a while because of it or jetted out or whatever. So having it back up is not abnormal. In fact, it happened to me at the same time last year because I remember staying up past midnight to get them to come out the day before my birthday because I didn't want to deal with it on my birthday. Just another part of my birthday curse, but that's an episode for later.
I wonder
So,
if that
oh,
has
go ahead.
anything to do with things like tightening when it gets cold or something.
Maybe. So
That's
I
weird.
called them out to do their normal clean the pipes out. And the guy comes out and he says, there's a part that like I can't get past. I'd like to video and see what's in there. And I said, okay. So he goes and gets the camera, puts it through the pipe or whatever. And he comes up and he's like, I have some really bad news, so brace yourself. And I was like, uh-oh. And he goes to show me the video. And I had cast iron pipes because they were so old. Half the pipe was gone. Just the bottom, like U of the pipe was there. The rest of it had crumbled, washed away. Things were snagging on it as we flushed them through. So then it was like creating blockages that would like be there temporarily and then get moved through. So the pipe, he's like, it's got to be replaced. I'm like, okay. Is it the pipe that's under my house, which I'm responsible for, or from the house to the street, which the HOA is responsible for? My pipe, of course. So then he tells me we're going to have to like bust through the cement, pull the old pipe out, put a new one in, and then go and refill it. So then they show me, he's like, it's going to be, this area, it'll cost about this much. I'm like, super. Let me get some quotes from other people, call my homeowner's insurance. Called homeowner's insurance. My policy doesn't cover any of it, of course. Called a couple other places to get quotes. Nobody could come out with I gave them 2 days to like respond, give me a quote, anything. Nothing. So just said, I have to go with this first one, as irresponsible as that feels to not get multiple quotes. But I have to get this done before I go to Disney. And there's like just a couple days left. So they came out, they did the really loud work. Dinah was super stressed out. It's a mess, but they worked really hard. They got it done. and it was ready to go. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we go to Disney. And of course, I warned the dog sitter about all the work that had been done. I told her not to go into the basement because I didn't have time. Like, I swept and mopped once or twice, but it was not near enough to get all the dust and the mud up. And of course, they had to saw through my drywall and rip up part of my flooring on the finished side of my basement. So everything is just awful down there. So we go to Disney and we come back. And mind you, if you listen to the last episode, I came back with a kid who had flu A. So we're getting home from the airport. We want to shower. We want to relax. We need the bathroom a lot. And what happens when I put Ari into bed and start a load of laundry? My floor floods.
Mm-hmm.
It was enough that it was contained to around the drain. So like nothing got damaged as far as like my wall or my, any of that stuff. But I'm like, I just paid. Oh, I forgot. So when they came down to bust open the floor, they told me there was a lot longer of a pipe than they thought. So it was going to like double my quote, which was already, what was it, like 18
Expensive.
grand, I think, at that point. And then they said they're going to double it. But then they found a slightly shorter route. So it was too much money. I thought, I just spent all this money and it's backing up again. What the heck? So I was mad. So I text the guy the next morning and I said, back from my trip. Drain is backed up. I don't know what's going on. And of course, he's like, okay. It was a Sunday. So he's like, I'll come out Monday, check it out. And I said, well, please make it Monday afternoon because I already have to take my kid to the pediatrician on Monday morning because I think she has flu.
Yeah.
So I'm coordinating all that. And then I decide, I've been in the airport all day and holding a sick child all day. I need a shower. Can I take a shower or is it going to back up the drain? Because sometimes it's the flushing, sometimes it's the washing machine, sometimes it's the showers, but it never seems to be all of them that like impact it. So I'm like testing different things. And I'm like, okay. So I go and I put my outdoor Ring camera, I take it off of its little mount and I put it downstairs on the floor up on a little weight so it won't get wet if the floor floods. And I point it at the drain. And I go upstairs and turn on my shower and I let it run for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. And it looks okay. So I'm like, okay, cool. I start getting undressed. Up comes the water from the drain. So then I'm running to the basement, half undressed. It was a nightmare. Shut off the water, run downstairs, grab the mop, try to catch the water. And then, of course, I couldn't shower. So I didn't shower all day Saturday while we traveled, all day Sunday while I had my sick kid around, and then most of the day, all day Monday, because he came and he put the camera in and said, well, there's nothing wrong with the work we did, which thank God, because I could not handle them busting up on my floor again. But 30 feet beyond where we replaced your pipe, there's a ton of really thick tree roots that are blocking things. I'm like, super. And my first thought was, why didn't they see that when they were doing the work? But I guess that's a long distance away. Okay, fine. And then I thought, is that really what was causing the problem and not the pipe? No, I saw the video with the crumbling pipe. So I had to talk myself down from accusing them of something. So they had someone come out the next day on Tuesday and jet through the pipe. And luckily that was a pretty non-invasive thing. And the guy who did it was really nice and got that taken care of. And the second I closed the door behind him, I ran upstairs and took a shower because it had been like 4 days by that point and I was disgusting. But I was so mad. I'm like, how many times am I going to have to deal with this? You pay thousands of dollars for a repair. You expect it to work more than a week.
Right. Did your warranty?
On one hand, I was mad. Yeah. On one hand, I was mad. On the other hand, I was grateful it didn't happen to the dog sitter. Because what a nightmare that would have been for her to deal with all 3 dogs there. But
or like,
yes, they did not charge me any extra. That's possible because part of what I saw when I went to start the laundry is it looked like there was like dried something around it. And I was like, that's weird. And then I thought, did I not sweep that part of the room before I left? Is that like leftover construction stuff? I and I was like, I don't know. And then I started the washing machine and I came back down and I was like, oh, no,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
And in that case too, it could have ended up being so much worse.
Yes. Yeah, the flooding could have been way worse. But I have
Yeah.
now replaced the pipe, solved the problem, got the loan to cover the repair, and updated my condo
Yay.
policy to cover sewage drain backup overflow type damage. Why it wasn't on there in the first place? Thank you, State Farm.
Yeah. I that's a tip for all you guys who might live in condos right now. Maybe see how old the condo is, how old things like the plumbing and electrical are, and see if you need to adjust your policy based on those risks.
Yeah. I was just kind of ignorant about insurance. Like, I didn't know policies don't generally blanket kind of cover some of that stuff, and that you have to, like, oh, you get your main policy, but then you need to add this thing on and add that thing on. And they don't ask you if you want to add those things on up front. You just have to know that
Right.
you want to. And, like,
Right.
I did not
And I
know.
think most
And
people
I was
don't know that.
also, yeah, I was also picking this insurance after finding out I was getting divorced against my
Yeah.
personal desires. And so I was going through a lot and not totally paying attention or doing my research for things. I had a friend who had State
Yeah.
Farm and I just called her agent and signed up with them, and I didn't do my due diligence, so that
Yeah.
one's on me in a very expensive way.
How come
Oh, and
life
then I bought
lessons
this
are
extra
always really
policy.
expensive?
Yes. I bought an extra policy through my water company that they advertised to me in an email once, which I found interesting because I don't pay my water bill. It's covered by the HOA, but I still got some
Oh,
sort of advertisement from them on this. And what I thought I was purchasing was coverage of the sewer pipes. But what I purchased was coverage of the water line. They have a sewer pipe one, but that's not the one I signed up for, apparently.
yikes.
So, yeah, I thought I was doing good like a year before the repair, buying that thinking this keeps happening. I might have to have a big repair soon. I
Yeah.
should have this extra thing to help reimburse. And then come to find out I signed up for the wrong one. So,
Oh man.
it's just, there's been a lot of really smart decisions on my part.
I just feel like a lot of that isn't smartness or not smartness though. Like there's just no way to know until you've gone through that situation and then you find out that like you need this or that to deal with it. So,
Yeah, a little bit of it is just, ignorance in the way that you can't help. You can't know what you don't know, as they say. I'm the only
right.
person I've ever known to own a condo. Everyone else I've ever known has either rented or owned a house. And it's a little different. In fact, anytime something goes wrong, the first thing that my parents say are, is that's the HOA's responsibility, right? I'm like, I wish. They hardly
Right.
cover anything.
Yeah, that's
That's
not
why I bought a
exactly how
condo,
HOAs
because I
work.
knew I was not savvy and I was not going to be a good handyman and I would not understand how anything works or know how to responsibly take care of things. And so I thought, I'll live in a condo where I get a little bit of extra support in those areas. Nah, that's not how it works.
Yeah. I think we're about to have an electrical expense.
Yeah.
I had Brandon replace a few light bulbs today because the one in the basement that's over the guest bed was really dim, and I assumed it was a multi-light situation and that only one of them was
Mhm.
still going. But no, that is
Yeah.
not the case. And then I was gonna
Mm.
have him replace Lucas's light bulbs, but they're different light bulbs. So now I have to deal with that. In the hallway down there, that was also not
Yeah.
turning on, but it's because the bulb is fine. And we've screwed it in and all this other stuff, but it will flicker like in a horror movie, or it's not a fluorescent or anything like that. Or it will
Yeah.
just like stop working and then start working and then stop working. So I was like, okay, so that obviously has some kind of issue. Maybe it's the thing the light bulb goes in. Maybe we just need to replace that. I don't know. Well, Brandon's going around trying to replace all these lights, and he's like, none of them need to be replaced. And I'm like, yes, they do. I'm like, is he gaslighting me? Like, what's going on here? I go downstairs to that guest bed because that's where I have all my Labubu overflow right now. And I flip the light on, and it's normal and bright. And I'm like, okay. And then like 30 seconds later, it goes super dim again. And I'm like, oh, okay, fun. So then I think I'll just go over to the basement couch that has a ceiling fan with a light. The light does not come on. There's two pull chains. One pulls, one does not. Neither of them do anything. If you turn the fan on, it stays at top speed the entire time. If you try to switch the light part of it, it does not come on at all. So I'm like, okay, I think maybe we have a deeper electrical issue going on here, and I'm scared.
Well, don't worry, because it could be multiple things. It could just be that some of your light fixtures are old and going out. It could be that you have the wrong kind of light bulbs, or that the people before you used the wrong kind of light bulbs and kind of like burned through the fixtures or whatever. Your ceiling fan probably just needs to be updated. It sounds like it broke inside.
Yeah. And I told Brandon, like, I said, I'm not against calling an electrician, but if you want to try some things on your own first, I'm not against that either. When it comes to stuff like that, I'm overly paranoid that someone's going to get electrocuted. So I think he's going to try to play around with some stuff before we call somebody.
Yeah. If you've replaced a ceiling fan, you have to get one of those cool new ones where it looks like a normal light, and then you turn it on and the blades kind of pop out and start spinning.
Wait, what?
It's really cool.
I have to look this up.
Yeah. They like kind of start to come out like a fan and start spinning around it, but then they come back in when you turn it off. It just looks cool.
Definitely try to get multiple quotes, even though Nikki didn't.
Yeah. I tried.
It wasn't your fault,
no
though.
one could
Like,
get
you
to me
tried.
fast enough, and I was in a time crunch. I even like got the first guy to send me the video so I could just send that to the other companies and say, look at this video, give me a quote. And I sent them the quote from the other place so they knew like how long the space was and what they were going to charge me, and could not get a response. And I understand, because the two other places that I did contact, one of them was bigger and probably could have gotten back to me, but instead they said, we can't accept someone else's video. We'll have to come out and do our own video and charge you again. Yeah. And I was like, no.
See, that's ridiculous.
And then the other place was a guy that's like a smaller owned business, and I would have loved to work with him because he was a referral from a friend that I trust, and I'm sure he would have done great work. But he was too busy to give me the quote in time, so did what I had to do.
Yeah,
because
you
nothing's interrupting my Disney trip.
That's right.
He kept telling me, I hope I'm not eating away at your Disney fund. I said, no, I'll take out a loan for that part.
No, you're just driving me further into debt.
Mm-hmm. I got a free Dole Whip on my birthday.
That's true, you did.
That was awesome. Went up in line with Ari and ordered one, and I had this bag on with the strap, and I put my birthday button, it's my birthday or whatever, on there, and most of the time forgot I was wearing it until people said, happy birthday. But I walked up and I ordered, and I had my card out ready to go, and she was like, I got you, have a good day. And I was like, no, we didn't pay yet. And she was like, no, I got you, happy birthday, have a good day. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was very confused for a minute, because I was like, I didn't want her to get in trouble because she forgot to charge me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I haven't paid yet.
Yeah, and it's
She's
like you hear the Pixie Dust stories, but they don't always happen. So like when it does happen, you're like, oh.
I will say the other 2 times I got pixie dusted for my birthday was with a small cupcake as a dessert, but it came after the largest meals we ate on our trip, and I already had dessert included. So I was like, I cannot eat this. I
I
kept trying
think,
to take just like
and maybe
one
there's a
bite
rule. Maybe they
to show
can't.
my appreciation.
That's how I felt when. Okay, let me back up. Maybe there's a rule why they can't, but I feel like if they were gonna do anything, like the guy should have comped her champagne or whatever. Um, but
That would make more sense
oh, so
to
we
me,
got to
but not
go
to money.
to Geo 82. Yeah,
Oh
we got to go
yes,
to Geo 82 on the trip, and our travel agent, my travel agent, had made our Space 220 reservation, which I'd never been there before, and I was like, it's a bucket list, I want to do it, right before the Geo 82 one, but not early enough that there was space in between the two. And I just
yeah.
assumed that Space
We thought there
220
would
was
be
like
because
a burger thing. Yeah,
yeah, there's like a
it
3 hour
was at
window between the
450,
two
and
or
then
something. Oh, okay, 2 hour
yeah,
window then.
yeah, yeah, 2 hour window. But
And we thought,
Brandon had
oh,
been
an
looking
hour
it
to
up while
eat
we were up there, and
there, a
he's
little
like,
break.
exactly. He had looked it up. Apparently, they're notoriously slow, but it is like a 3 course prefix meal,
Oh.
and I thought it was going to be like burgers and tenders. So,
You know, I've watched several vloggers go there and vlog their meal, and it never came across to me as something like uber fancy or that would take a long time. But I guess I take for granted the fact that they cut out stuff, you know, and you see them sit down and
yeah,
then get their food and then leave, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, it just seemed like a regular sit
and
down
there's
and not,
people that will like not talk nicely about it too. They're like, "Oh, well, yeah, there's atmosphere, but it's not worth it for the crappy food." It's really good food. Like my appetizer had the word
yeah.
wagyu in it. But
It always looks really good.
all of
Like they
that to
do a great
say,
presentation.
yes. And I was so stuffed. And we go to Geo 82 and you ordered that flatbread and I was looking at it and I was like, I really want that. But I feel like I'm gonna it's like that Monty Python skit where they try to convince the guy to eat a wafer thin mint and then he explodes all over the restaurant. I was like, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna explode all over the restaurant. And
The guy's
I
like,
took
it's only
one
four
bite.
pieces. Is that okay? And we're like, yeah. And I'm thinking, I'll eat
Yeah.
two and she'll eat two. And then I ate my two and she hadn't touched it. And I was like, are you going to eat that?
I took like one bite and I took a bite of that bite and I was like, this was a mistake. And I put the rest of the piece back on the plate. I was like, I can't. I want to, but I can't. You can find us on all the socials as Working Moms Wine. And if you have any sewage horror stories or tips on how to maybe like maintenance tips or good ideas on how to save money if you do have to get a repair done, anything like that, definitely let us know. Could always use that for next time.
Or tips on what to
And we
look for
will,
in your insurance policy.
yeah, that's true. Insurance tips would be great. But yeah, we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.